Heyo, Art Owl here. I decided to fill a page in my sketchbook. So I did the Art Blob challenge, which was created by Mari Lee. She's a designer and artist, and if you're curious about the challenge or the artist, I'll have a website down in the description that explains it more. Essentially, what you're doing is taking watercolor and painting blobs on a piece of paper, and then whatever you see in those blobs is what you'll draw. In my case, what I had underhand was a craft paint, which actually paired really well with my mechanical pencil because it made it pop from the texture that it created. So that was great. This first blob was actually the deciding factor for the entire page, which, as you can probably guess by the title, was Elf Girls. She's definitely one of my favorites, and she kind of just made me realize that the more I went into the thinking process and the more I got stuck in overthinking, the more frustrating and tiresome this activity was. So definitely avoid that and just let your mind unwind. Gonna be honest, this second blob is my least favorite. At some point I thought, yep, feathers. Feathers will fix everything. Enough said, it didn't do much for the piece. I kind of just didn't really like it that much. I could have leaned more into the spooky side of the character, maybe left the eyes blank, or I don't know, did a different hairstyle, pushed myself a little more, but I guess you get what you get, and I stuck with it. But the feathers did not turn out the best, so just a little warning there. I don't exactly know what I was going for with this one, but I saw the Shaco hat. Here, I'll insert a picture here. And so I just went with that. Now, for this one, at first I was going for a kind of like a stylish emo kid with bobble hair ties. Here's also a picture. But for some reason, the drawing ends up looking more like a mix between a scout leader and a countryside doctor. So I just kept with that. I'll admit, here on this one, my biggest mistake was definitely the bangs. So I kind of messed up her eyes by adding the bang strands, because it was, I guess it covered them in a way that made it look a little weird shaped. I don't know, it was a personal thing that I didn't really like, but she does have an interesting steampunk vibe, which I kind of was loving. The prompt for this one was kind of just masked princess, I guess. I saw the little top part of this one and I was kind of thinking maybe a bun, and what else would go with a bun but a crown, so that's kind of what I went with. And then I kind of wanted to add more detail, so that's where the mask came in. I do kind of wish I stopped here, because the more I added to the mask, the darker it got, and while that did add contrast, I kind of lost sight of the eye shape, which I don't really like that much, but I mean, what's done is done. For this one, I think I was going more for a Victorian kind of nanny style. And again, I kind of tried to fix it with a feather. But, I mean, I think this one was a little more successful in filling the area. Like, it's the lazy person in me. I just didn't feel like making a hairstyle that went all the way to the side. And I was like, I don't know what else to put in there but a feather. So that's what she got, a large feather. It does fit in with the theme of like a Victorian nanny, but like at the same time it's giving a little overkill. So I wish I did dial it back and maybe created something more dynamic with the shape, but that's kind of how it turned out. At this point, I was definitely kind of feeling a little burnt out, so I went real lazy and decided not to go with the full shape, but fill the space with baby's breath, which is a type of plant. It's like little white flowers, and I just did 2 buns and kind of a princess vibe with this like double ear thing, I guess, and just use the heck out of the baby's breath. Oh boy, where do I start with this one? Let's just say it was a happy accident. I was hating how my lack of skill in anatomy was making this blob look, so I decided to start over. Strangely, it's kind of what saved the drawing. I decided that I want to go in a different direction, make it more of a close-up, and in the end, it turned out my favorite concept. So it's something I definitely didn't explore before, but I guess you'll see in a second what I decided to do for this one. profiles. That's all I'm gonna say for this one. Ugh, profiles. Anatomy, be cursed. Seriously, I was having another issue with this one because of anatomy. It's just not my strong suit. I definitely want to get better at it, but I just kept messing up, especially the top area where her breast is and like the chest. It was not turning out no matter how many times I erased it and redid it. So at some point I was just like, I'm gonna leave it and move on. She did have a fun expression though. I like the feistiness. Here's our last lady. I would love to know if you guys remember that era where there was feather extensions. I'll insert a picture here too, but that's kind of what inspired this look, the feather hair extensions. She was kind of a nice ending for this spread because of the flowy hair. It's kind of like, it was a nice change from what I usually do. I usually do more blocky, stationary hair, so this was fun, and the feathers were very swoopy, which I like swoopiness. It gives more shape language and definition to a character. I do think the eyes are a little wonky, probably because of the different shapes, but overall she's not terrible. As the video comes to an end, I would like to note that all the music used in this video will be listed down below in the description box. It is royalty free. Also, I would love to know which girl was your favorite, which number. Personally, mine would definitely be the one with the unicorn horn.